Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Monday already again. The time is on the wing, isn't it? Good morning. Come on in. I got carried away. I was shading in our birds because I wanted to put some drop shadows on. See? Look. So I got a bit carried away with the time. I got lost in it. I love this. I love this. This is the most relaxing. And I used that light blue just around the leaves a little bit. And I got so caught up in it. And I didn't realise that it was already 5 to 10. And now the addict in me is saying, put it down. Right, come on. Don't spoil it now. Good morning, come on in and welcome. Have you got a cup of tea? Are you ready to rock and roll? Are you ready for a trip? A trip with the SHAC bus? Be good today. I've been looking forward to this one. I wonder where we're going. I wonder if there's a clue. What do you think? I've got my props out, dusted them off. Hey, what do you think? Isn't this a beautiful, look at that. Isn't nature a wonderful boo-boo? Amazing, isn't it? So I thought we've been down the woods, didn't we? Well, last week we did the watercolouring on the postcards. Come on in, grab a seat. It's a lovely day. Lovely day. All the windows are open, apart from on that side where the wasps are. Not so good. Last week we did this, didn't we? Which I thoroughly enjoyed. It's the first time that I've actually been able to complete one of the postcards because I'm usually just jogging on to the next thing. So that was quite a pleasure for me. Obviously, the watercolour is a faster process, isn't it? So nice to have a combination of those two things, I think. Come on in, grab a seat. And then the week before that, we were down the woods. That was brilliant. I really enjoyed the woods. It was very English, wasn't it? I felt very British, say. It was very local, wasn't it? But then again, it was very German. It was very Canadian. It was wherever there are woods, you know, French, Scottish. Yeah. But that was great. So for all us woodland nymphs, I think we got our fix in the forest, didn't we? And so I thought today it would be nice to go under the sea. And that will appeal to all us water babes. I'm a bit of a water babe as well. So I thought it'd be nice. There are some beautiful treasures under the ocean, aren't there? I mean, just amazing. So I thought it'd be nice to doodle some fish and shells and coral and kelp and all sorts. Don't you think? I think so. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do this week. We're going under the sea. The glories of the ocean. Eh? How do you fancy that? It doesn't matter what we do, really. We've just got to do it, you know? Just do it. Hanging out together. Are you happy? How are you? And where are you? You all right? You okay? Lucy, you're with us today, aren't you? Good. Lucy's in the building with you if you have any questions or you're looking for anything, or she'll be happy to help you. Clever Lucy, she's good. And then today I've got a plan. 10:01 already. Do you know, time is really flying, isn't it? I started a little bit late because I realised my batteries were already half dead. And you don't want to start with half dead batteries. You don't start the week on knackered batteries, do you? Right, come on then. Welcome to the SHAC. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. That's right. And today we're putting our goggles on and our flip-flops. We had this before, didn't we? Flippers. And we're going under the sea. We're going to have a look at what's going on in the deep blue ocean. Are we okay with that? Yeah, sounds good. Glad to hear it. Phone's off. So let's get started, shall we? I think this would be nice. And I thought today, because there's so much to do, I mean, you know, and I'm just going to, it's just a pebble in the water, what I'm doing now. And then you'll be off and running. I know a lot of you will just tuck in behind me and just enjoy the journey that we're on. And then others of you will just go off on your own tours. And that's okay. That's fine. But I thought, I've done it on a bit of tracing paper. We've got the tracing paper back in stock. We managed to find some. So I always draw on tracing paper. Shall I show you the sort of, you know, like the week's composition? Like I have to have an idea of where I'm going. Otherwise I get anxious. So I thought we could have a look. I've just started it. It's not done. It's just it's getting going. I have to have a place to start. So we've got the two beautiful big tropical fish. We've got a seahorse. We've got kelp, which has got quite a lot of movement. I like that. We've got starfish. We've got shells. Lots of beautiful shells. We've got coral. We've got a boat. So that gives us perspective. And then we've got the depth, haven't we? We've got the depth. I did go tall because I thought maybe that would create the depth. So I did go tall, but then I realised, and then I wanted, because he's a butterfly fish, I thought he could jump out of the water and pretend he's a butterfly. But then I thought, actually, we'll get more in landscape than we would portrait. So I changed my mind and I went landscape instead. But that doesn't mean that wouldn't look nice just on its own. Do you see what I mean? It's just sections, isn't it? It's just pieces. It's just, you know, even though we're working on a whole A4 piece of tracing paper and then we're going to pen it and all that good stuff, what you have to bear in mind is that this is all just this is a vehicle for learning and hanging out and doing fish and doodling shells. And do you see what I mean? It's a vehicle, isn't it? That's what it is to me. So I thought, what better place to start than bang in the middle with the big, beautiful fish. And then we can start there, because they're not hard. They're really not hard. So you start with the fish, and then we can work our way outwards, can't we, from them? I think so. I think that'd be nice. I mean, it's not finished yet, but you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? So let's start with the fish, shall we? Right, now let me get my glasses. So what we're going to need a piece of, if you've got the tracing paper, bingo. If you haven't, then just a bit of copy paper. Fine, it's fine. See, parchment's translucent, but it's a bit expensive for what we want to do. You know, that would be a bit of a waste. My personal opinion. Tracing paper's a lot cheaper than parchment. Right, so we've got a bit of copy paper. We've got a bit of tracing paper if you want to work on tracing paper. Do you remember last week we did that transfer trick, didn't we? That was quite good. So that if you do it on tracing paper and then you transfer it, you just got to do a double flip, you know, things like that. I think you understand me. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, last week the week before, no, it was last week when we did the toadstools, wasn't it? And we flipped them to put them on the watercolour paper. That went all right, didn't it? Yeah. Right, come on then, let's get started. Let me just get my bits. Yeah, there we go. This is what I did a little bit of a, what's the side? Yeah, that's it. Just to show you, because you want to kind of get the shape of a fish, don't you? So if we look, right, come on then. If we have a look at these two here, then what we can do is we can break those down and then we'll work from there. So just keep your eye on these two. Let me just come in a bit tighter, because I think now you've seen the overall plan. I think it's good to have a plan. I think we all need to know where we're going. I think that's half the problem. Witter, witter, witter. Right, come on then. I was so engrossed in that lovely shading earlier on. I'm zen now. Do you know, it does work, doesn't it, this doodling? For me, and if it works for me, it must be working for you as well. You know that, so relaxing. I just get so lost in it. Look, me lovely holder for me HB. Right, so if you look at these fish, you see there's all different ones, different shapes, but in essence, they've all got a circle in the middle. Look, apart from the long ones, of course. Sorry about that. There's an exception to every rule, come on. So let's have a look at, I'm just on a bit of tracing mode. Let's just get the shapes right. And you'll see, right, if you look at this, you could take anything you can hover. You know the way we hover over a piece of paper? You can hover like that until you're happy with the round. See? And once you've got your round, there you go. So you can do it without drawing round something, or you can take, look, that's pretty cool. You can take a lid of some description or anything, embossing. Look, I'm better with a hover. Right, see, so you just want a circle. I've used that you can use the die shapes. The inside of the die shape will give you a good circle. That's what I used here. Look, I just went like that, and that's the guts of my book. See? So these two fish, let me tell you, I've been doing some homework, I've been doing some research, because these are lovely. When you go snorkeling, you always want to look at, it's always the angelfish. You think, oh, angelfish, butterfly fish. These are the two. This is a butterfly fish, and this is an angelfish. And you can tell the butterfly fish because it's got this long sweeping piece here, yeah. And when you look at the butterfly fish from the side, these look like wings. These pectoral fins, these bits on the side. If you look front on, it looks like wings. Okay. So what we're going to do is start with the circle. Should we draw these? Should we just get a go? Should we go for it? Right, let's draw a couple of circles. Just a couple of circles. There you go, that'll do. Right. And then we're going to draw the nose or the face, right? So here we go. You can see here, they've got similar faces around the circle. So if you look up here, there's the circle, and then I've just done that outside it. So this one, for example, just that. Look, that's all you got to do. Just like a beak on the circle. Right, so that's the front end. And then the back end is going to have a tail. So, for example, on this one, there's the circle, and the tail, I've just gone, so you just make, look, like that. Got it? So you do like that, and now you can make it as big as you like. See? You make it floaty. I mean, we are doing the angel one, so maybe you want to make it a little bit floaty. Yeah? So that's the tail. That's the front end. And then we've got the dorsal fins. These are the big ones here. I've had to look this up. I'm not a fish expert. Look, the only reason I know is because I wrote it down on here. I thought, oh, well, let's look. Dorsal fin, tail, anal fin. Right, so that's the dorsal, the one at the top. The anal one's the one at the bottom, that figures. Then you've got the ventral fins. These are these wavy bits. Then you've got the pectoral fin, which is what I said was the butterfly wings on the butterfly one. Right, and then her name's Jill. Gills. These are the gills. See, Jill. Okay, so they're the gills at the front. Easy, hey? So you just got to remember those bits, really. So let's have a look. We've done nostril. We'll do the eye as well. The eye's up this end, but we'll worry about the eye in a minute. Let's get the shape first. So we've done the tail. Now we're going to do the dorsal fin. So the dorsal fin, about halfway along here, like that, and then it comes up like that. Let's see. Dorsal fin. Boo. It's about, yeah, go for it. So it comes in about here, like that, and it comes in an arch, like so. Not like a shark. It's a bit wavier than that, a bit gentler. Okay, and then we'll come in like that. There you go, that'll do. That's that one. And then the anal fin, which is about similar to one, so you can come, so it comes round like that, and then it's a little bit wavy, and then it will come in like so, and then down like that. Right, so there you go. I mean, it's not, we're not entering these into an encyclopedia. They're what we see, okay? Right, a little bit of that going on. Right, so that's that one, that's that one. Then, have you got a rubber, an eraser? Let's get this one done. Oh, hang on, pink. Let's get rid of the circle there. This will start to look more like a fish in a minute. Right, there you go. See? So we've got that bit. And now we want to put the eye in. So the eye is going to be about there. The eyes are quite big, aren't they? Like that, just a circle. Okay, and then make another circle within that circle, like so. There you go, like a donut. Big hole in the donut. You wouldn't want to buy that one. Right, waffling. Right, and then make a little light. Right, there you are. So you've got the black in the middle, got a ring around the outside. Oh, it looks quite a gentle one. Oh, nice. Let's have a look. There you go. Personality of the fish is starting to come together. So there's his eye. Okay, got a nostril. Quite a lot going on with the little fish face. Right, now let's keep going. So we've got that bit, and then we've got the gill. The gill. So the gill's going to come around like that. It's quite big, isn't it? And then he's got a bit of a. Should we make him have quite a long? He's got a long lip. Okay, so this one, he's got like a protrude. There you go. Oh, he's had enough. Look. I love this. I love this. What you can do with a pencil is amazing, isn't it? Right, there you go. So he's got a bit of a... Well, he's not. He's a bit doleful. He's a bit of a doleful angelfish. Let's have a look. This is his little mouth. It's got potential. I was going to say it's got legs, but it hasn't. It's got fins. It's good, isn't it? Hey? So once you've done that, then you can look at it, because you're working on a bit of scrap. So you've got so much room for change. If you think this is a little bit big, then just cut it back a bit. Right, here we go. Look, if you think it's too big, then make it a bit smaller. That's what this is all about. This is all about you getting it so that you're happy with the shape. So get rid of the circle bit, because that will make it look more like a balloon fish than anything. Get rid of the circle. We're going to change the shape a little bit now. You watch. See, now, you watch. You know that this now can come in like that a little bit more, see? So this one can come in. That one looks a little bit like he's on a platter. Let's come back again. Right, so hover over the, you know, like we usually hover. Hover until you're happy, Gray. That's more like it. See how we're changing the shape a bit now? But you know, for those of you who like to doodle, this is going to be brilliant, because, you know, all you Zentanglers out there, these are going to be perfect, these fish. Right, now, put pectoral fin next. Let's get the one in that looks like a wing here. It's about there, isn't it? About there. And we'll make it look like a wing. There you go. It just flutters, doesn't it? It flutters. It's almost translucent. There you go. That'll do, just for shape for the moment. Looks a bit too fat around the top. Bring it in a little bit more like that. That's more like it. Yes. Doesn't that look better? Like a little fan. There you go. You've got your gill, you've got your mouth, you've got your nostril, you've got your eye. Now, so we've got our long, excuse the expression, anal fin. Right, so we've got that bit. But now we need the ventral fins. We need the long wispy bits, these bits. See? So there's one on this side and one on the other side. So this one interrupts the line art. So, let's make a gap. You enjoying this? I think it's brilliant. Right, and then this one, let's have a look first, because it's going to come down like that, like a curve, with a little bit of wispiness up there, and then it's just going to come down, and then the one behind comes in the other way. Okay, right, that'll do. So we'll come like that, and we'll make a curve. So we'll bring this one in like that, and this one's got a little bit of you know what, and then it'll come in like so. Right, that's the first one, and then the other one's round the back. So we'll bring that one in like so. There you go. And it comes in around the back of that one. Okay. Rocking. Looking pretty good, you know. Right, angelfish. Stripy. They got stripes, haven't they? This is when you start to decorate the fish. So let's get the shape right first, though. We won't worry too much about the decoration until we're happy with the shape. Are you happy with the shape? Do you get it? I like this. Oh, hang on. Open. That's it. That's part of that one. And then this has got a bit of that going on as well. So they're quite wispy. Right, and then we've got stripes. So the stripes can come right through the face, for example, like there. One stripe. Then another stripe through there. That'll do. Then it's through there. So this is going to be translucent through there. Then we've got another stripe, I'd say probably about here, eh? And then I know they'd probably have one around the tail as well, like so. So it's starting to look like something now, you see. And then the tails, what we could do is, instead of making stripes like that, let's do this. Let's go up like that gently and then go back again. So don't bring the pen up, see? So you go up, stop and come back on yourself. I think this is a good way of making sure, look like that, and then back again. So in and then back, and then in and then back, in and then back again. Right, that's that. Doesn't he look good? Right, and then these bits on the angelfish, let's do this. Are you happy with the dorsal fin? Are you happy with the shape? That's the first thing. You don't want to decorate him until you're happy with the shape. Okay. Is that a yes? Right, okay. So what we'll do now is, what we're going to do is come along here. This is going to be the direction of our stripes. So we'll go along there and then we'll come again. So this time we're making proper stripes. 1, then we'll leave a bit of a gap. 2, and then a little bit of a gap again. See, it's a little bit bigger, the gap. Do you see what I'm doing? I don't know if I might fill it in a minute, but at least it gives me a choice. Yeah, I quite like that. I like the gappy bit. I think otherwise it's too busy. And then on this one, same thing again, isn't it? So this one as well, what we'll do is we'll come in here like so, like that. That's the tight one. And then we'll leave a gap-ish. Yeah. There you go. This is going to be good. Bit of a gap again. Up we come again. Yeah. Happy days. Cool. Now, imagine, just use your imagination now. Imagine how lovely this is going to be. How lovely this is going to be when we ink it and then we add our shadow. How beautiful. I mean, it's got a lot of colouring possibilities as well, but I'm sticking to grey work for this. I know I might change my mind at the end of the week, but I really would like to learn the shading and the, Zentangle stuff. And so now we've got all that going on. And then the only other thing is the scales, isn't it? And I kind of looked at the scales and I thought, yeah, I know, you can make it look really cartoony and this is going to be a black stripe, for example, although I'm not sure about that because I'm going to make light hit it and what have you. But say, for example, you could go boom, 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 couldn't you, like a tile? But I thought what would probably look a lot nicer is if we just did random, look, do a few, then maybe this way a bit. So it's not all completely scales, if you know what I mean. so it's a bit more patchy. That's what I was trying to do, make it a bit patchier. So here, for example, you might go 3, then you might go 2, but then you might go 3 off. Offset it a bit. Yeah, that's better than that. Do you see what I'm getting at? So scales, but I think like the illusion of scales rather than full-blown scales. That's what I'm trying to say. There you go. We'll do a double line on the fin, on the gills. Got the mouth, got the nostrils, got the eyes, got all this going on. It's fabulous, isn't it? I love. Right, and then the fluttery, this one here, the butterfly, the pectoral fin, this one, right, which flutters, doesn't it, is very thin. I think what we'll do is we'll make it just delicate like that. So you can see it, but you can see through it as well. You could even put some scales like through it a little bit. So it's, yeah. You know what I mean, like that. Cool. Nice. There. And it all started with a circle. See? Circle, round, and look how you can develop it just from a ring, just from drawing around a pot or a lid or anything. So that's quite nice. And if I overlay that on my plan, I wonder how close I am. Yeah, not bad. Look, it's an original. It's a bit different. The nose is, this is a bit flat. This one's quite a pointier nose, you see? But who cares? We've all got different noses. I'm sure in fish world, they've all got different hooters as well, don't you reckon? But if you wanted to change it, now's the time to change it before you transfer it. I'm happy with that. I don't think I need to change it. But it's not the same as that one. That one, does that one look more like a fish? Well, I'm telling you now, if that's not a fish, then I don't know what to say. Just changed it a little bit, didn't it? All right. Right, so that's the angelfish sorted. That was a good one. It's easy when you break it down. It's not hard. It's just all about those rings, you see, and then you just put the nose in. Have you ever been snorkeling? I'm sure lots of you have been underwater. I've been loads of places like that, and I don't say that to show off, but it is. But you never forget the first time. You never forget the first time that you saw tropical fish in their natural habitat. I know. I'll never forget it. The first time I saw them in the ocean was years and years ago when we went to Hawaii. And there's a disused on Oahu, not far from Honolulu actually. There's a disused or an inactive volcano. What's disused? What does that mean? Sounds like an old mine. It's not a disused mine. It's an inactive volcano, and people go swimming there. And that was the first time that I saw tropical fish under the water, and it blew me away because when you come from Kent, you don't expect this kind of life under the sea, under the surface of the water, you know. And I can remember, you never forget the first time. And then I remember when we went to the Maldives, that was where I saw the most phenomenal tropical fish that I've ever seen. But I'm sure there are other places in the world that are just as beautiful. But that's when there was just like a postcard. You just swam through them. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. But there you go. I'm a lucky girl. And at the moment, we're not going anywhere, are we? So we have to rely on our imagination. And it's a lot cheaper and a lot safer. Okay. So let's have a look at the butterfly fish. Shall we have a look at the butterfly fish? It's a little bit different, but it kind of works in the same way, right? Because what I'd like to do, I mean, what I want to do is stick to the tracing paper for the moment, only because I think, I'm not saying they're complex images, but you want to get your eye in, you want to kind of get a feel for it, because you're going to get a different slope on this one. And then what you could do is, between today and tomorrow, just transfer these to your copy paper and put them kind of in the middle like that, and button up noses as if they're going to kiss. They're either going to kiss or they're going for it. Okay. So let's have a look at this one, and this time maybe put it somewhere where you can easily transfer it. Like if they're like that, then you could easily then turn it around, and you know the way I showed you how to transfer it onto your copy paper so that you don't have to redraw it. Something to consider, right? See, I could take that now and then take my HB pencil. I wonder if, because I used a HB, so if I take a hard 2H, I wonder if I just, let me just see if it works. If I go in over the top of this one, it's good enough. I can see enough to be able to transfer it, for sure. You can't see it, but I can. It's definitely good enough to be able to do that. And if you can't see it, then you know you've got to take your softer pencil and go over this side and then flip the whole thing again. All right. Let's have a look at the butterfly fish. This is a lovely one, but it's a little bit different. See the different shape? It's a little bit different, isn't it? But it all starts with the same circle. So if we take, let me show you this. If I show you the circle and I lay this over the top, you'll get it. Do you see? So the circle is in there, right? But this bit, let me come down a little bit. I think it's good for you to see where the circle is. Here's the circle, and then this little fin here, this fin up here, that actually, which is probably the dorsal fin on this little fella, right? Or that's the dorsal fin. That's the tail. No, that's the dorsal fin. Right. This one is outside the circle. Do you see? So we're going to put the nose in, the face here. So if that's the circle, let's put the face in. It's a bit like that. Okay, so the face is in, and then he comes around, and then we've got our, I think the tail is the next best place. The tail is the next thing. So the tail is going to be a little bit different on this one, like that. So if we bring that little flat one in around the back like a cap, like so, that will help. Just put it all in lightly for now. He's got a little bit of that going on. See, and then what he's got is this, as it comes up, it goes over like that, like a real floaty bit, like so, the butterfly, right? That's that bit there. So let's take this and let's look again at where we've gone. Exactly right. See, so we've got our thing there. Now this is a little bit taller here. Do you see? That's what changes the shape of it. So the circle, if we bring it in like so, this bit's going to come up a little bit further. So otherwise it makes it look too round. So let's just change it a little bit. Let's take this bit out like that. And let's make it more as it comes up like so. Right? So it's more of that shape, making it a bit more eggy. Like that. So then this has got a bit of that going on, a little bit of flimsy stuff. Right, there's that bit there. And we've got the little tail, okay? And then we've got this cheeky little, he's got quite a cheeky little face, this one. Like so. Take the circle bit out now, because that will give you a bit more. I found when I took that out, I started to be able to see more of a fish. Okay. So now we've got this bit here. Now let's take my overlay again. I tell you what, hats off to tracing paper. So you see what I'm doing here? So now we've got the gill there, and then we've got this little pectoral. We've got, rather than those great big long flimsy ones. So here now, let's just put the gill in like that. That will give us a good starting place.
And then we'll put the because this is the butterfly one. So this is the big butterfly that you see from the side, like so. Just put that in for a minute. And then we're going to put this one on underneath here. It's not so big as the other one, like that. Right, so that one comes in there. And then this here, we're just going to kind of soften it up a bit like so. So this one's just got some of that going on. See? When you take the roundness out of it, it starts to change. You need that to start with, but you don't need it in the end. Yeah, look. So this is coming up here. It's coming round. This can change from round now. Okay. So we'll hump it a bit more, like that. There you go. Now we're looking like, now we're cooking with gas. So it's a bit humpier. See, so it starting to look more like place. Soul. Sorry. Didn't it? Looks like something you'd get on in a posh restaurant. Right, but we are not eating butterfly. There's not a lot of meat on a butterfly fish. Right, there you go. That's nice. And now we've got the eye. And then within, again, like that. So you've got a ring. Yeah? But then the inside, you leave a little bit of a white, you know, like they're looking at each other. So you see, you know that from the owls, remember? So you're going to go like that. Yes, that's it. Now this one, the butterfly, we can make him have a different mouth. He doesn't have to have that pointing down mouth. He can have more like that. You know, like a real sweet, like Cupid. Look, let's just have a bit of fun here. I'm not talking about great big pucker up lips. I'm talking about what, like, as if he's going to blow bubbles. Look, looks like he's got lippy on lip. There, see? It's like he's coming in for a cuddle. Yeah, no, feminine, male, female. Don't you reckon? There you are. It's all good fun. So it's just it's a different sort of shape, isn't it, on this one? So this one's got a little bit of, a little bit more flounce, I call it. And now we're going to go in for so this one's got the stripes, like big stripes, okay, here. So we'll see this butterfly here that comes through there. Just add the stripe to that. Let's just pretend that this is just an extension. Make it easier when you go to colour in, like that. Bosh, big stripe all the way through. You see? So I've taken where that lovely I don't know what you'd call it. Flouncy bit is. I'm going to bring that stripe round through the gill like that and through there. That's going to look smashing. And then I would say we'll bring the other one in round the back like that. Right, so this one's going to come in sort of similar place like that. It's going to be beautiful for colouring in. This is really nice. And then the tail, let me show you. It's, as far as the tail goes, like this. Let me get my sharpener. You enjoying this? These are going to be brilliant for doodling. Just got to get the shape right, though, haven't you? Okay. Right, so what we're going to do now, here we go. We'll come to about, there's going to be where I would like to sort of bring the tail fin in, right? So I'm going to come up like that, and then I'm going to come back again. Do you know like we did before? So I'm going to come up and stop, and then back again, and then up and back, and up and back. There you are. And then these bits you can just do a little bit of lacy, nice. This is going to look so cool. And then this one here, this one, I might tidy up that line actually. That looks a little bit. Do you get the feeling I need a new rubber and a new HB pencil? This is getting ridiculous. Nah, come on, I'm not pleading poverty. Look, I've got a new one. I just keep grabbing this little stump. Right. There you go. So let me have a look. Sometimes you have to sort of step away from it and look at it and say, right, what do I actually want to do here? Do I want it a bit smaller? Do I want it to come? Do I want a bit more of this going on there? Yes, I do. Right, so that's going to be a bit more of that. And then I think I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. That's more like it. Like that. Right, okay. And then I'm going to come in and, right, so this one, I think what I want to do, because this would be good for colouring in, right, it's like castle turrets, I'm going like that, okay? So I'll start there and I'll come up and I'm not even going to get to the edge, I'm there, see? Right. And then I'm coming round, so I'm going to get a bit tighter now. That would be lovely. Yeah. See, it does look like something you'd see in the ocean. He so does now. There, doesn't that look great? Cool. And then, of course, so if this is a stripe and this is a stripe, then we've got the old scales in this area, haven't we? So let's just put a couple in so we know where they are. Nice. Yeah? So that's scales there, they're there, and then scales here as well. I reckon, I tell you what, watercolour. You know we were doing the watercolouring last week. This, if we could get these shapes right, wouldn't this be, so you could really, not so much, you know, like last week what we did on the watercolouring. It was very, not details wrong, but it was very deliberate, wasn't it? We stayed within the lines and we were very, very in control, because that was the lesson, wasn't it? That was what we were trying to do, was learn how to stay and control the paintbrush. But if we did something like this, then it would be interesting to rather than stay right within the lines, do something a little bit more, a little freer, a little bit more incidental or less controlled. Do you know what I mean? Like, I reckon, like as if it was in the water. So a little bit more Chinese koi watercolour, if you get what I mean. Chinese watercolour. But you'd have to get the shape right, wouldn't you? I'm thinking this nose looks a bit weird, but I've got till tomorrow to sort him out. Now, how are we doing? Right, heads up. I thought today we'd stick with just with the fish, and then we'll get these two into place. And then the little ones, they're easy. We just drop them in the background. And what that does is it pushes the big ones to the front, and it gives the depth, the illusion of depth. So the little ones, let's have a look. You'll see what I'm talking about. If we look at the picture, you can't see it so well at the moment, but you will in a minute. If you look here, you see what gives the picture, what makes them come to the front is the first of all the boat at the top, right? But also the little fish, apart from being smaller. I mean, these are not big fish really, are they? They're not huge. They're not, you know, he's probably, that one there, that Titan triggerfish, is probably a lot larger than these in real life. He just happens to be a lot further back. You see? This could be a shark. Well, he's not. But if he was, you want to hope he's a long way off. Hey? See? So that's what we want to do, is let's just do these different shapes because they're easy. Let's have a look at this one, this little fella, because he's not so much a circle. I thought when I was breaking him down, I thought, oh, do you know what? That one reminds me, look, I mean, this is a bit extreme, right? But in actual fact, it's more like, it's like a game of cards. It looks like spades, you know, like clubs, hearts, diamonds, spades, see? So if you were to take, for example, if this is his nose, and you're going to come in like that, like the spades, like the king of spades, there you go. And then there's his tail, like that. Let's just see what happens if we do this. Maybe you want to make him a bit fatter. See, then his so you've got that one like that, and you've got that one like that. See, and then you bring in this bit round like so. This is going to come, we'll bring this round a little bit further round the back. I think it's about getting different shapes, but I think that the spade idea in the pack of cards is quite good. You see, and then you can bring this round like so. Look, bring the old gill in, bring the eye in, bring the long lip in. Look, straight away. Bingo. Hours of fun with this. And then, of course, you've got your... Let's just do... If we do castle turrets like this, that's cool. Look. Castle turrets. The thing about castle turrets is if you do it like this, it gives you just a great place to do shading. Like, see? So you've got your... And then you've got your tail, and on your tail we could go, what did we do before? We go from here, we go into the tighter area and out. Then we go into the tighter area and out, into the tighter area and out. Bosh. So there's your, get your eye. They do have that kind of look, don't they? That long lip thing, a lot of them. Little nostril. Bingo. And then we'll give him a little... There we go, we'll give him a little fin like so as well. I'm not even looking at what I did before. These ones are stripy. These ones are really stripy. When you see them in situ, right, so he's got a head that colour, and then the stripes come in, don't they? Let's have a look. I'm going to make the stripes go this way though. I think the stripes are more likely to be this way, like so, not that way. Don't you? I think that's going to go. Get rid of that stripe there. I reckon this is going to be so much fun today. Yeah, you see? And then if that was black, and then that was black, I mean, not black, but there you go. So cool. There. Nice, huh? So you got that little fella. That's this one here. So, hang on, you can't see for fish. That one there. And then, what else we got? Oh, this is cool. Let me take that away. This one here. This is easy. This is like the Christian symbol, isn't it? The symbol for the fishies. So you go like that, come over, and then, yeah? So once you've got that, then you can use that whole shape, can't you? There's that bit. There's the fins coming round. Then what else we got? We've got an eye, gills. There you are. So that's quite an easy one to do. If you want loads of fish in the background, you know, get his mouth in. So you go like that little hook. I do like that. Right, and then if you want to change it up a little bit, then instead of doing start again, start here. There you go. So you go up like that and do that. Then come round. You can make it fatter. Look. Okay. Then you can bring the fins in, top and bottom. Bring the old face in. Looks more like a guppy, doesn't he? Right, put the fin in, eye, and then the mouth. You can bring the mouth in like that, like a hook, look. He's good. Look, he looks like he's got a hair lip. Okay, hang on. We'll redo that one. A bit of modification required here. Here we go. Hang on. No, I've lost it now. He just looks like he's in a bad mood. And then you've got your scales. Look, happy days. Then you've got your castle turrets. Just sort out the fins. That's a really easy way to do that. Makes it nice and controlled. Hey? Look. Cool, who says? And then like that. Yeah. And that one, you do see those ones. They got real like bullet ends. They don't have so much a nose as a ramming, you know, like this one here. This is when you see those ones, you kind of have to be a bit careful. There are some, they look nice, triggerfish, but then there are some that are quite aggressive. And when they're quite big, these ones, they have a nose like if you go to a circle, make a circle, right? And then, but they come like that. Exactly, that's exactly what they do. Like almost like ram you. And then they have little, and they're quite round actually, but they have quite the nose. I can remember being in the Maldives with my mum, and then when you take that away, you realise it's that sort of fish. And I remember being in the Maldives. Have I told you this story? And I was with my mum and dad, and we were all there. And I got you know those sheets, those laminated sheets that shows you what's in the water, so that you kind of know what you're looking at before you get there. False friend. Look, you can make him. He's not friendly, this one. Anyway, so it said in this packet, in this laminated sheet, it said, right, the one that you want to avoid around here is called a Titan triggerfish, right? And it's quite big. It looks nice, lovely purples and golds and yellows, and it said, avoid at all costs, basically, because they're quite aggressive, especially at the moment, because it's mating. It's like they're protecting their young. So if you go anywhere near their nest, they'll come for you. And they pack a punch, they ram you, and they bite you. So I said to Mum, it's quite nice. So I said to Mum, right, if you see one of them, because she's a good swimmer. She was always a very good swimmer. I said, but if you see one of those, don't go near it, Mum. Go the other way. And so we were snorkeling, and I could see her little legs under the water. And then I could see this she was standing there with her flippers on before going swimming. And she had her legs open, obviously, to stop falling over. You don't stand with your legs together, do you? So she had her legs apart at like 10 to 2. And this Titan triggerfish, I couldn't believe it. It was doing like a loop-de-loop round her legs, like a figure 8, you know? And I was like, Mum, come here. And she was right by where they were, she was just protecting their young, basically. But she was completely oblivious. And this triggerfish was literally doing a loop-de-loop round her legs. Great fun. So yeah, my mother in the Maldives. Right, so you see how you can get all different shapes, and all these different shapes are going to be great fun when you put them, like this is a nice one, where the stripes, instead of going that way, the stripes are going lengthways. So let's try one of those. Let's do one of those ones, these ones here, right? So these are quite good for background ones. Let's just do a really long fish, and then we'll give this one a kind of a slim tail like that. You could make your own up. Who's gonna? If the tropical fish police are in the building, just deny anything, right? So then we could do that really long. Give him a gill, give him an eye. This was. They don't smile, okay? Let's open his mouth. Let's see how do we do that? Oh yeah, okay. He's opening his mouth. Right, give him an eye. And then you can make the stripes go that way. See? That's quite good as well. He's got his gill. He's got his... Don't forget his little fin there. They do all have them, I think. Right. See? So you can make the stripes go that way. And then you can make the stripes go that way on his tail if you wanted to. Dare to be different and all that. Right. So we've had a really good time. I've enjoyed this, doing these fish. And what I want you to do now, today, between now and tomorrow, is transfer the fish. Well, you've probably done it already on your copy paper, but if you haven't, if like me, you need to put it onto your paper, do it before tomorrow, and then don't worry about the little fish. It's only the 2 big ones that you want, right? So we're going to put the 2 big ones in, and don't worry about these. They'll only take 5 minutes. We'll pop them in afterwards when we want to add depth. And then tomorrow what we'll do is we'll come round here and we'll put in the sand along the bottom, and then we'll put the rocks in and the starfish, and we'll do some kelp, and I reckon we will be able to make the coral, and possibly we'll even get to the seahorse as well, because he's quite easy. And then I want to concentrate on the shells. The shells are beautiful, and I've got so many shells and beautiful things to show you. I've got, you know, from years of living in California, the shells are just insane as a piece of art. You know, just a natural wonder, really, isn't it? Look at these. We'll finish on this. They're just beautiful. Just beautiful. Collected them for years. I mean, staggering, really. These are homes for little animals. It's still got all the sand. And these ones are brilliant. These are sand dollars. I'll tell you about them. I'll tell you about the sand dollars when we get to them. I've got such fond memories of sand dollars. These are great. And look, they've got a hole in them. When I go like that, out comes all the sand. Look, still got the sand from the Pacific. Yeah. I collected these. I collected them. I've got loads of them. That's what we used to do. But I'll tell you that when I see you next time. So there you go, under the sea, the treasures under the sea, all that glory, you know. And we may not be able to go on holiday physically, but we can certainly enjoy a week just learning how to draw fish and learning how to do coral and just having fun together. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Lucy, thank you so much for your help, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, same place, same time, and we'll carry on with our masterpieces, eh? It's good to have your company. I hope you're enjoying this, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again. Lots of love. Bye-bye now.